Hello and welcome back to Podcast Pitstops Accountex 2024, brought to you by Ask the Accountant. Today, we have got one of our very loyal fans, one of our regular viewers, commenters on Ask the Accountant weekly episodes. Mr. Paul Whitehouse is joining me for his podcast Pitstop. So,
Thank you for having
Paul,
me.
introduce yourself. Who are you and where have you come from?
Yeah, so my name is Paul Whitehouse. I am an accountant based in Portsmouth. Been in the trade as a limited company since 2010. Before that, worked for my mum's business as an assistant to digitising her firm, shall we say.
Right.
Which was a kind of a challenge from Groundworks because she had one of those original electronic typewriters. So that was kind of my introduction to the industry. And from there, we eventually split the business. I then went my own way, created my own firm, and haven't looked back.
Fantastic. I'm very jealous of you living in Portsmouth. I'm a big Navy fan. Like, I love watching the Royal ships come in and out. I used to live on the Isle of Wight.
Oh,
So it was great fun watching the ships come in, and day off I go have a look around Portsmouth Harbour, see what Navy boats are in.
It's an amazing city.
It's like,
I've lived there all my life.
yeah, historic dockyards are incredible there. But yeah, so very jealous of that. So this is not your first accounting event, sir?
So Accountex, I do try and go with it every year. It's one of those where there's just so much.
Yeah.
It's so massive. Everyone's so friendly. You'd expect a place like this to be a bit more systematic, but people are willing to give you the time of day. And that I find is just amazing.
Cool. So what was your first impressions as you walked through those doors for the first time?
What for
this year?
This year, just how much it's grown over the past couple of years. I was still expecting to be a little bit light after the whole COVID scenario. The very first one coming back from COVID was very, very light on attendees, but it's absolutely packed.
Yeah.
It's literally standing room only on every stand. All of the theatres completely packed out. There's just no room to breathe. So it's amazing.
It's been very busy. Caroline, the organizer, seems very happy with the numbers. Not that she'll disclose the numbers at this point, but
Absolutely.
she seemed very happy with the numbers. She was saying there's over 300 exhibitors here this year, and they've never had that many before. So yeah, it's certainly strength to strength.
Yes, a lot of smaller stands. The new startups, that little section down there, there's quite some nice innovations coming through there.
Yeah.
So yeah, quite impressed with what's here.
Is this day 2 for you or day 1?
This is day 2.
Cool. So put yourself back to day 1.
Yep.
Coming through the doors. You're impressed with how big it all is. What were you most looking forward to over the 2 days?
The QuickBooks stand.
Yeah.
So I made a beeline for that first of all, just to catch up with what was going on from their point of view. There was a few exhibitions that were taking place that I wanted to see. Obviously, Lord Hammond, that was an interesting conversation to have. I actually went up to the gallery and spoke to him in person. So
Okay.
that was quite a nice touch to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I never thought that would even be a thing, but it was. For me, most of the drive was looking at how I can look at the different vendors for taking my business forward. So over the last year, my business has increased quite significantly. And so I'm now looking for more of the onboarding and then outsourcing and payroll as well. So I'm now looking at specific parts of my business and how these vendors can help me grow and develop that rather than just the general, here is everything.
Yeah.
This is how
good idea to come in with a focus. I like that. Speaking of focus, how do you take action from these events? Do you
obviously I get the
time out? What do you do?
You get the inundated emails and responses from the amount of times your badge is scanned. I do try and earmark certain people that I want to go through with and at least try and organise demos. At the very least, it gives me an opportunity then to see which one that becomes a bit of the two pushy ones, the ones that are trying to get you on board no matter what.
Yeah,
they want you to sign on a dotted line without actually trying to explain how the product is going to benefit you.
Yeah.
For example, speaking with Apron today, I was able to go through a couple of my own clients and see how I can solve those pain points. They sat me down, they showed me how it works, and they were completely open. And they said, absolutely fine, book a demo in, get a free account set up, and we'll go from there. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for those that are willing to help almost evolve their business to help my business.
Yeah.
When we talk about, obviously, client engagement, the amount of work you put into helping the industry as a whole from the user point of view, rather than what suits your needs and what makes your pocket fatter, effectively, is what I'm looking for. Fresh Pay is another one. They're
Yeah, and
amazing things.
it's becoming a bigger and bigger demand that more and more softwares are starting to realise this isn't a one-way street anymore.
No.
It needs to be a two-way working relationship. It's not just a customer and seller.
And that's the way our industry is going now.
Yeah.
It's less about just getting those tax returns done. It's more about understanding that customer and their business.
Yeah, definitely. As you know, there's a lot of events in the event space these days for accountants and bookkeepers to attend. What are your thoughts on the UK accounting and bookkeeping event space at the moment?
Crowded.
Okay.
I did want to turn up to Fab, but it just didn't fit with my schedule. I don't know if I'm going to do any more this year, just because things have moved on for me. I'm a lot more busier with the new business I've taken on. I still like to keep an eye on what's going on. So obviously watching your podcast and stuff, the grid walks gives me that ability to be there without actually physically being there.
Yeah. I mean, especially when Caroline's filming all of this and putting it out there free of charge without upgrading your tickets and stuff. So
yeah, I'm always the one to look at the old video clips of the last years and see if I could spot myself in the crowd and that sort of thing. But I do like to be at these events, and I do wish they were kind of spread out a bit more. Things like Accountex, where it's smack bang in the beginning of the month. That's an ideal time for me.
Yep.
When you start putting things towards the beginning or end of the month, then it hits deadlines. Then it hits the workflow, and that's where the problem comes. I think that's probably what you'll probably find with a lot of attendees is they can't go because they've got maybe too much VAT pressure on or the year-end accounts they need to file. So, yeah.
Cool. What do you love most about the industry?
Talking to people, learning how businesses are thriving and how I can help them. For me, there's an element of that personal touch. I've spoken to a few people and they say, why don't you get rid of certain clients because they're a dead weight? And I feel if I can nurture that relationship, I can make that relationship work.
Yeah.
And then I can build on that relationship, and the tools that I get from these shows is absolutely phenomenal. There's so many things being pulled into all the different platforms. So it's stuff I never even thought I could offer people.
Yeah.
I love the direction the industry is going. I love the way that we are able to help businesses, and also the fact that it's more visual to the clients.
Yeah.
It's no longer just a tax return and here's your tax due. They can see results. And I've been getting numerous 5-star Google reviews completely out of the blue. I've not requested them or anything. The client said, I've changed to Paul and he's absolutely been amazing. And
that's it.
It's just a wonderful thing to see.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So we know what you love about the industry.
Yep.
What would you change about the industry?
How quickly it moves. Not probably from a software point of view. The software is moving forward quite quickly. Yes, I'd like to get certain elements of, like, if you look at receipt capture, if there's certain elements of that you wish were there, sometimes you're like a month, 2 months, 3 months down the line, it's still not been addressed. That could be faster. But also the way that we are kind of held back by HMRC and the government and that sort of element. It always seems to be a restraint of processing.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think needs to shift.
Brilliant. Okay. How do you describe your ideal client?
Somebody that's willing to listen to me. I get a lot of people that come to me and they say, can you do this? Can you do that? Well, yeah, I can. But will you listen to me if I suggest using this software or doing it slightly differently? That's really where I want to create a good relationship. If they're not willing to listen to me from day one, if I say to them, look, we use QuickBooks exclusively and you're using Xero, I want to move you on to QuickBooks because I see it benefiting you. If they're, nope, I'm going to stick with Xero, then potentially I will say to them, I'll work with you to a certain point. If we can't work with you, then we'll be telling you time to move on to find another accountant that is set up with Xero.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. What item is at the top of your tech stack? What item could you not live without? How is your day or your firm or whatever else it is?
Globally, it would have to be Client Engager at the moment, just because it's pulled so many other pieces together. Second to that would be QuickBooks. And I want to get more and more rolled into QuickBooks as such. I just need that one-stop shop, really.
Yeah.
The benefits that have come through using Client Engager over this last year have been phenomenal. Really have.
Send you the check later.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying what number's going to be on it,
No.
but zero. How do you feel AI is going to impact on you and your work?
My firm, I'm hoping it's going to do a big impact. Specifically, just that communication with the clients again. If I can provide them with a platform and I can get the data there and then they can pull that data through an AI platform, then I'm hoping that will be a big benefit for us.
Yeah.
At the moment, AI is very focused on us getting information from the software, and I want that to flip to the clients.
Right.
So if we can kind of plug the AI for some reporting information, deal with that through the AI, which obviously speeds up our processes.
Yeah.
We can then feed that into our own AI to then for the clients to come to us and say, look, am I worthwhile investing in such and such in the future? And they can get that through AI as well as communicating with us directly.
Brilliant. How did you discover Ask the Accountant?
Through the QuickBooks chat originally. So I kind of got through to Aaron on his old YouTube channel, mostly from the short snippets.
Nothing old about it. It's current.
Well,
Still does
it's
it.
current, but some of the older tips and tricks that he did were massive lifesavers for me. It got me away from people using spreadsheets and put it into QuickBooks and gave them that one-stop shop. So for me, that's where I learned about Ask the Accountant. He said, oh, I'm going to start doing a podcast.
Yeah.
And it fit perfectly in my timeline. I get up in the morning, get ready, and I don't normally leave for work till 10 o'clock. So that time slot in the morning, perfect time for me.
Fantastic.
Sit in front of the computer, check in my emails, listen to you guys. Absolutely perfect.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining me here today for your
No
podcast
worries.
pit stop. This is your moment to plug your services.
Okay.
So choose a camera of your choice. I would probably recommend that one.
Yep.
And feel free to plug whatever it is you want to plug. This is
Okay.
your moment.
So as an accountant, I am looking specifically at commercial vehicle businesses. So for me, it's providing that sort of service to anything with wheels, specifically taxi drivers. So I have developed a TaxiMate app, which allows the capturing of income and expenses for drivers on a very simplified process, literally touch and go buttons, lots of templates can be set up in it. And it takes away a lot of the pain points of them recording and snapping receipts. And then that then works systematically with us to then push that into any accounting software. That's where we're going with the future. And we're hoping to connect more app platforms with it. So connections with QuickBooks and other businesses like that, so that we can then feed that data almost
Great.
instantly.
So if they need to contact you, how do they do that?
I'm pretty active on Facebook, LinkedIn. I've got a profile on there, although I'm not that active as you, obviously. I also have a website for my firm and a website for the TaxiMate app as well.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for joining me, Paul.
No problem. It's been great.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Podcast Pit Stops at Accountex 2024, courtesy of Ask the Accountant. Don't forget to keep tuning in though, because there's a lot more episodes and content from Accountex 24 coming your way very soon.